In this video, we will be looking at downloading and installing open source schematic capture PCB software called KiCAD. Some pronounce it KiCAD. While there are many good pieces of software on the market, most of them charge several $1,000s for the same capability as this particular one. So within your browser, let's do a search for KiCAD. And as is typical, it's the very first listing in my search. So KiCAD or KiCAD EDA. If we go to the website, just expand it. The opening page tells you a little bit about it, and you're free, of course, to click on it and enjoy yourself. The two buttons in the middle I draw your particular attention to. We're going to be clicking the download button in a moment to actually get the software. But the left button dock, sometimes when you install KiCAD, it does not come with all the documentation. So make sure you make a note of this particular page so that you can come back and click docs when you need to go there. If we just go there now, we see lots of different documents here which you can open, and they're in various languages. And we'll go through not necessarily the documents, but we'll go through most, if not all, of these different pieces of software as we continue this series. Now, KiCAD is a suite of tools. So I'm going to go back. We're going to click the download button. Here you can see it's got installers for a variety of operating systems. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to click this one. And in the Windows, well, let's make sure we get the correct version that we want. For the operating system, notice the most recent version is 4.0.1, and anything after 4, a little number subsequent, would be a very minor correction or enhancement, not necessarily anything major. I got a 64-bit operating system, so I'm going to click the 64-bit installer. And when you look in the lower left corner, you can see that it says it's going to take about 5 minutes for this to download, at which time we will install it. So I will pause the video at this point and then resume once we come back. Okay, the program has finished downloading, so now we're ready to install. So we could either open it up in its folder or click it here, and it should begin installing. So welcome to the KiCAD setup screen. Yes, we want to install it. So we'll click Next. We'll accept all the defaults. And I recommend that you allow it to install in the default folder unless you know what you're doing. And away it goes. And we may pause here in order to not make this video unduly long. And now it has finished extracting and installing. It opens up a screen which actually asks you if you want to go to another website and download something called Wings 3D. Now, if you don't have Wings 3D, I recommend that you check the box. Wings 3D is a 3D graphing environment, and one of the features of KiCAD is that as long as there are 3D models for the various components that you've used, you can in fact render a 3D depiction of what a PCB will look like. So we're going to make sure the box is checked and say Finish. This will open up our browser and take us to the Wings 3D website. We'll click the Downloads button and then find the one we want. Well, the most stable release is 1.5.4. I see again the two operating systems, so let's download for our 64-bit version in my case. And now it's going to download it, and when it's finished, we'll simply start that up. And we'll click it to start it. And I'll again accept just the defaults. You don't necessarily need the icons and whatnot to start it unless you're actually going to use it. And I don't know that we will, but it's nice to have just in case. So we'll just click through accepting the defaults and then click the install, and as you can see, this one goes quite rapidly because it's not anywhere near the size of what our KiCAD was. So now that we've done that, we can close our browser, and it's installed a desktop icon for me, which I can click to open, or in Windows 10 I can go to the appropriate spot there. This video showed how to download and install version 4.0.1 of KiCAD. In the next video, we'll actually open up the program and begin looking around.